The hype of NBA free agency died a long time ago, but we are still over 2 months away from the start of the NBA regular season. And boy, has the Eastern Conference changed so much since last season, so why not predict some standings? I'm only going to be predicting the Eastern Conference in this video because I want to dedicate enough time to each team and where I put them in the standings, but if you want to see the Western Conference as well, then leave a like, subscribe, comment down below that you want to see it, and I will make a video on that as well. Okay, let's get right into who I have as the worst seed in the Eastern Conference, and I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that they're probably going to be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, but the reason why I have them at 15 in particular is because I think they're going to be trying really hard to tank, even though we have these anti-tanking rules. They're going to be trying to develop Jaime Jaquez Jr. with Ryan Rollins, of course, taking the next step. They have Braden Burries, who they drafted, Ousmane Dieng, Nate Ament, Coel Ware. These are all young players who need time to make mistakes and are not going to be trying to win games actively. And that's just what you get when you trade away a franchise player in Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're going to be bad for a few years, and that's completely okay. Now, the reason why I put them at 15 exactly in comparison to other teams in their tier, such as the Bulls, the Nets, the Wizards, for example, these are all teams that I feel like are ready to take the next step. They've been tanking for a while now. Now the Bucks just hit that reset button, and so they probably will be at the bottom of the conference. Unfortunately, since a lot of teams did get better in the Eastern Conference over the offseason, we will have some teams that stay at the bottom of their conference, like the Brooklyn Nets that I have at number 14. Now, obviously, this isn't much different from where the Brooklyn Nets ended last season, which was the 13th seed, and that's because they're a young team at the end of the day. They still are developing Igor Demin, Ben Seraph, Drake Powell, Noah Clowney. They still have all these young players who they're trying to develop, and then, of course, they're adding Mikel Brown Jr. to the mix, a lottery pick who they obviously want to be the future of their team. And then they have players like Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle, who could play their way on to the trade block, who they'll probably look to trade. The point is that they're not going to win very many games as they've been doing over the past few years. Next up at number 13, I have the Chicago Bulls. And this isn't really a fun place for them to be because they were the 12th seed last season, so this would be taking a step back. And I honestly like the moves that they made over the offseason. I liked that they drafted Caleb Wilson. I think he's going to be an absolute stud for them. I like that they traded for Nick Claxton. I like that they have Norman Powell now. I like all those moves, but I just think that the Eastern Conference got so much better over the offseason, and there's so many good teams out there that the Bulls are just going to get lost in the mix. And it's going to be a young, good, fun League Pass team, but they probably, again, won't win many games. Next up at number 12, I have a team that I think could be a lot higher, but I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to say the Washington Wizards at number 12. Now, I recognize that this team has the chance to be a lot higher. They have Trae Young, they have AD, they have AJ DeBonsa, who already looks really good. So I do recognize the potential for them to be a lot higher. But do I think Trae Young and AD will play a lot of games together? Not necessarily. I mean, look at the injury history between the two of them, and you'll see that it's hard for them to probably stay on the floor. I hope that we can see them on the floor because I want to see the potential of this team. But considering their health and, again, how good the rest of the Eastern Conference, I think that they're still a couple years away from really clicking together. I'm totally buying into the stock, though. I think Trae Young, AD, Keyshawn George, AJ DeBonsa, Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, Bilal Coulibaly, Trey Johnson. Give it 2 years and this will be a team to be reckoned with, I guarantee. At number 11, I have a team that I think took a bit of a step back this offseason, if I'm being honest, which is the Charlotte Hornets. I didn't love trading away LaMelo Ball the way that they did, especially after it seemed like he was finally figuring out his role on the team, staying on the floor with Brandon Miller, with Con Knipple. It seemed like they had a good core, a good thing going, and now you're going to be starting Kobe White, which it isn't bad, but I feel like Kobe White's natural role is off the bench as a microwave scorer, not the starting point guard in replacement of LaMelo Ball. And then they also traded away Miles Bridges for like 2 vets in Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. So, I mean, I don't love the offseason that they had. Obviously, Naz Reid, who they got in return with the LaMelo Ball trade, is a really damn good player, but he's no LaMelo Ball. I think that they're going to take a little bit while to gel, and it's not going to result in as many wins this season, but we'll see what happens after that. At number 10, I have a team that is continuously in this 6 through 10 range, and that is the Orlando Magic. I mean, this is a team that didn't really do much in the offseason. They pretty much have the same starting lineup. They haven't made a decision on what they're going to do with Franz or Powell. I personally, as I've been saying in a lot of videos, think that they should choose one or the other. They basically brought in Nikola Vucevic, who's dirt old at this point, and is probably not going to have that much of an impact as he did when he was in Orlando Magic before. So, I mean, I don't love the way that this team is being run over the past few years, I think they're just going to be pretty much in that same range that they've always been in, which is the play-in tournament, maybe the 6th seed if all things go well and they don't have injury issues, which with Paolo and Franz is not really a good bet to be taking. Then at number 9, I have the Indiana Pacers. Now, this was a really hard place for me to put them at because, this is a team that with Tyrese Halliburton fully healthy made the finals just 2 years ago. And they have Kelly Oubre Jr. now on the team. They still have Pascal Siakam. They have Zubac now. So this is a team that is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference. I just don't know if they're going to be able to replicate what they did in the playoffs that season and win that many regular season games. I'm really intrigued by this team. I think they have the potential to be a lot higher than where I'm putting them right now. But just to be safe, because Tyrese is coming back off of injury and he probably won't play as many back-to-backs, I think that they'll probably be around the play-in tournament-ish range. All right, next up at number 8, I think I have a team that is going to shock a lot of people in being this low, and that is the Boston Celtics. Yep, you heard that right. I have the second best team in the Eastern Conference from last season, dropping all the way to the 8th seed. And that's the effect of the Jaylen Brown trade. I think that was one of the worst trades in NBA history. Paul George is, as we know, old, injury prone, not as good as he used to be. They're counting on a lot of growth coming from Baylor Shireman, from Hugo Gonzalez, from Peyton Pritchard taking up a lot of the slack. I just don't know if you can do all that and also have a Jason Tatum coming off an Achilles injury, of course from last season, but still he's still not the same Tatum that we know and that we love from years prior. And then also bringing in like Mitchell Robinson, it's going to take some time to gel. So do I think that this team is going to be really good this season? Unfortunately, no. Will they probably be okay in the long term? Yeah. But as for next season, I think they're going to have a major drop-off. And that could be an unpopular opinion, but that's just what I think. All right, at number 7, I have a team that's been around this range for a while, which is the Atlanta Hawks. I do like the moves that they made in bringing in Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, Kingston Flemings. I think they're going to have a top 5 defense, to be honest, next season. But again, a lot of the Eastern Conference has gotten better, and the 6 teams in front of them are all going to be fighting for those top 6 spots. I don't know if the Hawks have enough talent to be able to compete with them, though it will be a good team and a hard-to-beat team in the playoffs. At number 6, I have one of those teams that made a huge move this offseason, the Miami Heat. Now, this might be a little bit low for some people's likings because, yes, they did bring in Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best players in the world, so should they be a lot higher than what they were last season? Probably. But in my opinion, as I said in my reaction to Giannis being traded there, I don't believe that they have a lot of shooting surrounding him and Bam. They have Tim Hardaway Jr., yes, of course, which was a good pickup, but then again, they lost Norman Powell, who was a big shot creator and shot maker for them. Davion Mitchell as a starting point guard is kind of iffy to me. He's more of a defensive-minded point guard first. Of course, there's Wiggins, but he's hit or miss shooting-wise. And then the bench, of course, needs a lot of work. I just don't know if relying on guys like Drew Smith, Pele Larson, Simone Fontecchio on the bench to pick up the slack in the second unit is going to take them to a lot of regular season wins. All right, getting to the top 5 now. At number 5, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this is a team, again, that didn't make too many moves this offseason after missing out on LeBron, of course. Now, that would have elevated them to a much higher level. Assuming that they're going to bring James Harden back, this is pretty much the same team that was last season, and last season they won 52 games. So we know that they can win in the regular season, that they have a good team to be able to do that. Yes, the Eastern Conference is better than it was when they were winning 52 games, but I still think they have the potential to win a lot of regular season games, and that's why I have them as a 5 seed in comparison to them being the 4th seed last season because, again, the Eastern Conference did get better. Okay, as the 4 seed, I have the Toronto Raptors. Of course, assuming that Kawhi Leonard is actually on the team and that this aspiration stuff doesn't cause him to be back in LA. As standing with Kawhi Leonard, I think that this is one of the best starting lineups in the NBA. Having Emmanuel Quickley as a starting point guard isn't the best, but RJ Barrett, Kawhi Leonard, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl is pretty damn good. And then having Jamal Shed off the bench, Jacoby Walter, Colin Mary Boyles, Kyle Anderson, even for some vet presence, like this is a pretty deep team, and I think that Kawhi is just such a perfect fit on this team that we know what happened the last time the Toronto Raptors had Kawhi Leonard on their team. I think they're going to be a really good team in the regular season and in the playoffs. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard makes them better. It just remains to be seen how much better. As of right now, I don't know if that makes them better than the top 3 teams that I have right now, just because of what these 3 teams have proven, at least 2 of them, and one of them is pretty obvious why they're in the top 3. But I'm so excited to watch this Raptors team. At number 3, I have the Detroit Pistons. This was a team that won 60 games last season. They were a really, 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 really good regular season team. Yes, they were a little bit disappointing in the playoffs, and they didn't make as many moves this offseason as some people were hoping they would make. They did bring in John Collins though, and so they still have a really good team. They did bring in Isaiah Joe as well. So this is a team that will again win a lot of regular season games. So I think they're at least at the bare minimum a top 3 seed. Surrounded by Cade Cunningham, who's only going to be better as an MVP candidate last season. Who knows what he'll be this season? He might be even higher in MVP candidacy. Asar Thompson will only get better. Jalen Duren will probably be better than he was in the playoffs last season. So I'm not worried about the Detroit Pistons winning regular season games. It's more so what happens in the playoffs. Okay, at number 2, we have the team that probably made the loudest noise this offseason. No, not probably. They did make the loudest noise this offseason. The 76ers, of course. Now, I couldn't put them number 1 because the New York Knicks just won a championship. We have to respect them as a team that will be motivated to go back-to-back, and they'll be trying to win as many games as possible during the regular season. I also believe that the 76ers will not play Joel Embiid and LeBron James every single game of their season in every single back-to-back. But they still are a force to be reckoned with. Of course, this is one of the best starting lineups in the NBA of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe is only going to get better. Jaylen Brown, LeBron, Joel Embiid. I mean, that's just a super stacked team. They also drafted LeBron Fallon Jr. They have Anthony Simons, who they signed for cheap. KCP, who has that vet presence. Like, this is going to be a really, really good team. It's just, I don't know how many games the Big Four is going to play together. And of course, that leaves us with the New York Knicks at the number 1 seed. There is that lull period that championship teams usually go through at the beginning of the season, right after they win a championship. But I think the momentum that they built in the playoffs, having won and being so dominant throughout the playoffs, that they were even more dominant than in the playoffs than they were in the regular season. I think that's just going to carry over into this next season, and they're going to be super motivated to show that they're still the kings of the Eastern Conference. So I do believe that the New York Knicks will be the number 1 seed and are going to try to go back-to-back. They're going to try their very, 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 very hardest to go back-to-back again. All right, and that is all 15 teams in the Eastern Conference and where I think they're going to land in the standings. If you like this video and you want to see the Western Conference as well, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you think of these standings, and I'll see you guys in the next one.